Thanks for being with us. You're watching the Hurley Pro. We're into round 5, heat number 3, an all-Australian matchup. Stu Kennedy taking on Josh Kerr.
You know, I thought that might be the point of differentiation for me with Kolohe, if I could, you know, really get some of the big carves on the rights. But the waves are, I mean, there's just so few. You got to kind of judge how you're going to surf them. You know, are you going to really go for it and be radical, and try to push it extra when there's not much power to keep you on the wave, or, you know, just kind of get your score and see where the other guys stand. So it's a funny little chess game in heats. You know, you kind of, you know, if you get the first wave, you got to kind of throw a certain punch and see how he reacts, or vice versa.
From Fiji, Jay Baber returned to winning in Tahiti's 55th win, into the quarterfinals now. And during the interview, Kennedy battled for the first wave and nailed a big full rotation on the first maneuver, Pete.
And it's going to pay off in a big way. First section, attacking that first section. It was a nice vertical, sizable set wave, and he finishes up, cleans it up, gets some nice little snaps on the inside, so he gives the judges something to think about at the end of the ride. Sometimes you get lulled to sleep if it's kind of mid, you know, because in the mid part of this wave, it did flatten out. But look at that, just full rotation, lands clean, rides out clean, no hitches, no falling back, nothing. He stomped it. Judges love it. And that's why they're going to give it a good score.
7.67 for Stu Kennedy. A wild card who's had a whole year to battle against the world's best. So basically acting like it's his rookie season on tour. And he'll make that official and join the Rookie of the Year race if he starts in 9 events. This is top 8. As he's up again now, backing up the 7.67. Just a quick look and he's out.
Just reflecting on what Kelly was talking about and losing in round 5, you receive 4,000 points. As you watch again, watch this replay. And it goes so on and so forth through semis and into the finals, of course winning 10,000 points. But look at that. Gets the grab, grabs it, and then lands. Again, if you're going to critique errors immensely, and maybe why we didn't see it go excellent, is that he did hold on all the way to the landing. And, you know, skaters will call that a safety grab. Like, right, you hold on for a little extra length of time. It will affect the score slightly if you're going to analyze errors to a T. And then the very end, again, that was kind of sleepy through the mid part. And then those couple snaps just to finish. But he kicked out nicely. High end of good. 7.67, great start.
Not too bad there. And also sometimes hanging on to the grab can provide more injuries at times.
That board just was flowing through. So definitely the equipment lending the hand right there to Stewie.
Seeing Stu start this way, are you expecting Josh Kerr to answer the same kind of maneuver?
Is what he does. He'll strategize how he surfs a heat in comparison to who that he's surfing against.
Winding up, just like the Waz predicted, we had Kersey go for the rotation on the right. Kersey and Kolohe were going blow for blow with the stalefish opportunity. What went wrong on this one?
Well, he didn't go for the grab. That might have helped a little bit because he saw his back foot got off camber right when he was about ready to land. And it was off to the rail. And I'm sure that Josh would have felt that, and then it affected how he landed it. He didn't feel confident being able to. You need a certain section for certain types of airs, and I think that once they present themselves, you kind of make that decision right then and there.
Kennedy now backing up the 7.67. Snap to fin release. Nice easy tempo. Frontside carve. He's already got a ramp up off the top. He'll lose the rotation on the finishing move.
Aggressive. Very aggressive surfing right there. You know, I think he started off going, okay, I'm just going to get a backup score here. It is tough to keep that tail above the lip. A lot of times we see Stewie stuff that tail and spin it around. As you see the first turns there, again, just getting a lot of momentum. This is the board carries. It's got really straight template. And so it's shorter than he would normally ride. I think he grabbed the outside rail as well, not just the tail. You know, just getting a little happy there, getting a little aggressive.
During the break, Stu Kennedy got another wave.
Gets that first snap. Probably could have been a little bit more on rail, but again, trying to keep the speed alive. Bit of mix of turns there, but see how fast he can go down the line. That board just gives him so much squirt. Again, straighter outline in the rails. A lot of concave, wider tail, so the board just flies down the line, but short enough to be able to have that looseness. You always want to compensate. What is it going to be? He's going to have straight, curvy lines. You know, and you get this compensation of going, okay, the template's straighter, so it's going to give you drive, but then there's curve in the bottom. And then you straighten out the rocker by putting concave in it. And there's all these elements to be able to blend together to make a really solid design. Sci-fi been worked on by Daniel Thompson for a long time. And he's got it perfected working with a guy like this, Stuart Kennedy.
Coming from the same part of Australia, now watching Josh Kerr, blows the fins out, reverses the takeoff. Just a reset on the second maneuver. Looks at the layback, now he's going to wind up for the air and get stuck on the rotation. So a guy with a world-famous air game is getting stuck on a couple of rampy sections.
He's able to back it up. You see how he shifted his feet. So he gets this turn. You see right here, he's all forward, has to put the board back. So his feet are in the sweet spot, which he does. Fills in the gaps here, but this would have been sick to complete and ride out. We would have saying, okay, no problem. That's definitely going to rival the 5.5 of Stu. Probably be a little bit better had he completed that last move. You know, and now he's right in this heat. Instead, I think we're going to see this kind of be suppressed because of that mistake at the end. And he's going to still be fighting for 2 solid waves here with 10:25 to go. He does not have priority here, so let's pay attention to this paddle. Is Stuart going to commit?
And he will. Kennedy looking to better a 5.5 here. He's got a lot of speed in a big air section. Whips it, rotates it off the roof for one major air reverse. So Stu Kennedy taking the air show away from Josh Kerr. Let's see if Kersey's got something for us. He's got the speed. He'll just do a little speed line snap down the line, tagging the whitewater again. He'll get a climb just to cover some ground. Looks motivated to ramp up, and he'll just ditch the fins into reverse. Now getting the completion way down the beach.
At this air from Stu Kennedy, you know, he's trying to better that 5.5. Ton of speed carried here. Very similar. This one, the board a little flatter, not so inverted. Did get the grab to land. And then behind him on a little bigger wave, little stretched out line, Josh Kerr carrying a ton of speed. Had to cover a good 50 yards to get to these sections. And he's still having to move down the line. So 3 big floats to finally get to this last section. Gets a little tail chuck reverse to finish and a completed ride. So again, carried a bit of speed as we watch again here. A little bit bigger wave, but again, this wave was moving down the line really quickly. Had that south wind blowing a bit of chop onto the face. Did really well to keep it smooth through all of those sections, and then to get to finish like that.
It's been really reliable. He had 4 straights inside the top 10. Numbers in now, Pete. Kennedy 6.67. Kersey 5.67.
See if he's going to give himself an opportunity. Looks like he is.
Josh now realizing he needs something big. He knows he could ramp up on demand. He's going to go for it. A perfect ramp to showcase that talent above the lip.
So a little bit more committed as we see again. About a shoulder high wave here, but carries a lot of speed. Gets the float, and then this section, big grab, nice and inverted, full rotation. Stomp the landing. I mean, we've seen 3 of these in this heat already. We also take into consideration that it happened at the end of the wave, which is generally they love to see it out right out of the gates.
Now Stu will take this wave, not holding priority, big tail whip, and he throws priority away. We've seen conditions changing, now comparing single maneuver options in round 5, heat 3, which suits Stu and Josh Kerr just fine. Going above the lip, Kersey will earn a 6.97. So outperforming Kennedy's 6.67, but it's in the same conversation.
If you're going to try and push the sport, maybe you go completely 1100, you know, like do a complete roundabout rotation, and that double grab could help you to do that.
As we look at Stu now, lost priority, so he looks for another ramp. Whoa. Big rotation, inverted, and claps his way through the landing. That one felt good for Kennedy, and it looked incredible.
That was a ballerina spin right there. So quick. I mean, that just whipped it as whipping can be. So again, carrying a ton of speed. He looked out the back, got a turn in too, and a little glide. So I mean, even you got to think about that. There was some maneuvers beforehand, but look at the rotation, how quick that was. And he loved it. Power fists his way to a kick out. I think this will improve his situation. I think he's going to add a couple more points here. But look at this again. Ton of speed, perfectly timed where he connects to the lip. Right there at the most vertical portion of it. Gets the grab. And again, the slow motion doesn't really give it the justice of how quickly that rotation happened. And I think that that's something like when we saw it live, it's like, whoa! You all of a sudden, you get that wow factor. It's gonna reflect in the score.
Talk to air guys, they always talk about you want to have your tail to the sky nice and high, but he was inverted as well. He checked to see what was out the back without priority and found this ramp that we'll be watching the rest of this contest. Back to live, Kersey now under pressure to perform. He'll go left and belt it a few times through the lip. Trying to find the pocket again. Sets his pace on this backhand wall. Snaps it off the lip and just forms his way through the finish. Meanwhile, finding it right is Kennedy. He'll get stuck off the top, so it's coming down to the left of Josh Kerr. And that crazy full rotation from Stu Kennedy. Without priority, Stu got a 7.7 on a small wave. Josh Kerr now needs an 8.4 on the left into the beach.
Yeah, I see it not happening for Josh, and I think he feels the same as you watch here. Well served. Nice flow to this wave. Nice vertical hit there for number 2. But then they see the wave flattened out. Had to kind of two-stage that top turn. Again, cuts it back. Stays with it. He'll get a final maneuver here. Snap to close out hit. Nice and vertical. I mean, well served. I just don't see it being an 8.4. It didn't have that wow, that pop that we saw from Stu Kennedy.
And then ended up getting back into the heat with a full rotator of his own. The left comes in at a 4.83. Doesn't factor in, and Kersey's eliminated here in round 5. Stu Kennedy finding the winning feeling again. He gave us an air show, something that we hope to see when we come to Lower Trestles each and every year. And he takes out another big name to meet Tanner Gudauskas in the quarterfinals later on today.